never get tired, nah. Always knew that I could be great. Had to be patient day after day. I don't complain about the cards I was given. I put them to use and find out a way. Never took no for an answer. Give me a chance and I'm making a play. Everything earned, it never was given. There ain't a whole lot of people who relate. Yeah, longer the journey, the better the outcome. I'm never taking no shortcuts. The music been paying me hundreds of thousands. I never needed a tour bus. Every decision is made by fate. Every outcome I gotta take. Never lost hope of the plan. I tell them that Rome wasn't built in a day. This ain't no luck, it was destiny. All that I got, it was meant for me. I don't be going outside, I'm stuck in the crib, protecting my energy. Focused on building a legacy. Don't give a damn about the enemy. I'ma keep doing whatever I'm doing. I pray that God always keep blessing me. Ayy, let them all talk, I couldn't care less what nobody has to say. Paying the bills for everyone around me. Ain't no opinions make that change. I'ma just stay locked in and put in that work, then do it again. I've been delivering hit after hit and there ain't no delay like GTA. Yeah, never be thinking about what could've been, only think about what comes next. Don't wanna waste my time, I'm living in only to realize there's none left. I don't take anything for granted, know that every day I'm blessed. Wake up, already know that I gotta win, can't let nobody else get ahead. I found a method of all of the madness, don't feel alive when I'm at peace. I need the chaos to always surround me, give me a reason to feel unleashed. I'm in control of my life and my actions, I don't need anyone speaking for me. Been getting tired of all the distractions, but I'm not ever accepting defeat. This ain't no luck, it was destiny. All that I got, it was meant for me. I don't be going outside, I'm stuck in the crib, protecting my energy. Focused on building a legacy. Don't give a damn about the enemy. I'ma keep doing whatever I'm doing. I pray that God always keep blessing me. Fill my body up with pain, it won't let me get away. I don't got nowhere to go, I ain't got nothing to say. I've been trying to take it back to the time of better days. They've been trying to bring me down, but I tell them that you messing with the wrong one. And now they don't really know us, yeah. I ain't backing down for no one, yeah. Tell them they ain't getting no love, yeah. Ayy, put my pain inside the bottle, I keep it until it's hollow. They don't know the shit that I know, I can't find a road to follow. I've been feeling my anxiety is rising uncontrollably. I used to be up dreaming that one day they all gon' notice me, and now I want the opposite. My fear, I gotta conquer it. I do it for my family, they deserve to get a lot of shit that we never had. 16, I got in a crash, I should've taken my life, but I guess that God had my back, and now I'm doing everything I ever said I would. I know I came a long way from that neighborhood. Sometimes I can't explain my feelings, I'm misunderstood, and lately everything that's bad gotta come with the good. Fill my body up with pain, it won't let me get away. I don't got nowhere to go, I ain't got nothing to say. I've been trying to take it back to the time of better days. They've been trying to bring me down, but I tell them that you messing with the wrong one. And now they don't really know us, yeah. I ain't backing down for no one, yeah. Tell them they ain't getting no love, yeah. Ayy, ain't nobody tapping me though, had to take the time to reload. Took my talent to Miami, now I'm ballin' Tyler Hero. I be seeing a lot of zeros, but they don't be satisfying. I be staying grounded, sitting economy when I'm flying. I keep everyone around me who started from the beginning, cause we had some cold nights trying to understand the vision. And all of the overthinking got me in a mental prison, cause I always miss the moment and end up just reminiscing. And the quicker that you get it is the quicker that you exit. I'm always in a rush trying to get them all the message. I used to want the glory, now I'm waiting for my entrance, cause you only live once with a single first impression. Fill my body up with pain, it won't let me get away. I don't got nowhere to go, I ain't got nothing to say. I've been trying to take it back to the time of better days. They've been trying to bring me down, but I tell them that you messing with the wrong one. And now they don't really know us, yeah. I ain't backing down for no one, yeah. Tell them they ain't getting no love, yeah. Turn it up. Whole squad when I roll through, what we gon' do? Turn it up. Turn it up. Put the stars in the roof, turn it up. In my city, I'm the truth, turn it up. Whole squad when I roll through, what we gon' do? Turn it up. I was gone for a minute, I was country hopping. Paris to the UK, yeah, we get it poppin'. Everywhere I go, know that I got many options. And I never stop till they put me in a coffin. Back to the beach, I've been getting on. They've been busy trying to catch me, I'm already gone. Anything I drop is your favorite song. Your girl asking about my scent, that's the Saint Laurent. Pick a time, pick a place, I've been flying over states. I've been hiding away, putting rhymes over bass. Every day, I've been switching up my time zone. I've been running through the game, that's a milestone. I've been sticking to your ear like an iPhone. Everybody trying to ride the wave that I'm on. I've been at it 6 years, never looking back. Filling on my tracks in their chest like a heart attack. Find me in the end zone like a running back. You been in a friend zone, good luck with that. I'll be buying woman gifts if they acting right. Beautiful lady with dreams, that's a good night. Turn it up, turn it up. When I come through the spot, turn it up. When I whip, drop top, turn it up. Whole squad when I roll through, what we gon' do? Turn it up, turn it up. Put the stars in the roof, turn it up. In my city, I'm the truth, turn it up. Whole squad when I roll through, what we gon' do? Turn it up. I was gone for a bit, now I'm back again. Still got my middle finger to the middleman. They've been trying to cool me down like a ceiling fan. I just iced out my wrist like an avalanche. Only 3 months, got a couple $100 grand. Even when I fall asleep, I be making bands. Still a rookie, but I'm playing like a veteran. Keep on getting wins, it'll never end. 1 year till I'm graduating. I gotta have a new whip and a mansion waiting. Now I'm about to cut ties, cause they still be hating. I'm tired of helping people out who don't appreciate it. Damn, I'm done thinking about what they think about. Cause they ain't never try to come help me out. Still got the same ones that I keep around. Never switching up, always hold it down. We not in the same shoes, they be lying. I'm breaking out of your shoes like Zion. You ain't thinking big enough, why you trying? You ain't putting any work, why you crying? Turn it up, turn it up. When I come through the spot, turn it up. When I whip, drop top, turn it up. Whole squad when I roll through, what we gon' do? Turn it up, turn it up. Put the stars in the roof, turn it up. In my city, I'm the truth, turn it up. Whole squad when I roll through, what we gon' do? Turn it up. Turn it up. Yeah. Okay, I'm back in the game. This what everybody waiting
for. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everybody, and welcome to Friday. We did it, chat. We made it another week. We made it the first week after Thanksgiving, which is arguably the first of like the stretch of holidays where you got to make it through like, take 4 days off and then you're like, oh my God, I got to come back and work a whole week. We made it, chat. Cheers. It is good. It is good to see everybody this morning. That is for sure. I've had an interesting week. We'll talk about it here in a little bit. First and foremost, thank you so very much for tuning in to us this lovely Friday across Twitch, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. It is good to see everybody across all the platforms this lovely Friday morning. Hope you're doing very, very well. My name is Neil Bridges. I had to get in chat this morning to have BeardSec remind me of what my name was, because it is December. We're running out of steam at the end of the year. We got to keep going. It's December. Was my name December? I thought my name was Neil. I'm so confused. It is December, but my name's Neil. Anyway, we're here. We're Friday. This is our Friday morning AMA stream. Thanks so very much for tuning in with us this Friday. If you're new here, I saw some first-time chatters. If you're new here, thank you so very much for tuning into us this Friday. We're always excited to see the new people. If you are new and you are a lurker, there are some rumors going around over on Twitch that lurkers are not counting towards views. And so not a requirement. We don't chase views or anything like that. But I do ask that if you are lurking, you do have us open in a tab where you can hear my voice. Set yourself a little 5, 10, 15-minute reminder to stick a smiley face, stick an emoji, stick a hi, stick a something in there. so that you do count towards our viewership. Twitch is doing some crazy things with viewer counts. But if you're not new here, if you've been here for a minute, thank you so very much. Thank you so very much for continuing to tune into us on a weekly basis. Glad to see that you are just as anxious for the cynicism and soapboxes as everybody else is today. We are streaming live across Twitch, LinkedIn, YouTube, and X. With that being said, we only have a few rules. Actually, really only two. It's like one rule and one rule and a reminder, right? One rule and a reminder. The first rule is, right, no racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, or otherwise toxic behavior in chat at all whatsoever. We have a zero tolerance policy for that type of stuff. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? We encourage civil discourse. I know you are, Fockets. That's why I love you, buddy. I know you're there. See? Miss you, boo. Did you go set up your house in WoW? ADHD. God bless it. Squirrel. Right. No. Racist, sexist, misogynistic, elitist, otherwise toxic behavior in chat. What does that mean exactly? Listen, we encourage civil discourse. We had somebody in chat the other day talk about one of the things that they love best about cyber insecurity isn't me. And I'm actually okay with that. It's not me and it's not our guest, and I'm actually okay with that. They said that the thing that they love the best is talking with their fellow cybersecurity peers in chat. And so I highly encourage you to use that chat feature and chat with your cybersecurity peers in chat. That is what it's there for. We do encourage you to have civil discourse. Disagree with me, disagree with your fellow streamer or your fellow chatters. Disagree with everybody. We just ask that you keep it civil. Don't resort to name calling, although I will call Brian names. Brian will call me names. You'll probably see the mods call each other names. That's probably because they've all been in the same room for the last 5 years dealing with me. But we encourage you to just have a civil discourse inside of chat. Just keep it, again, like free of any racist, sexist, misogynist, elitist, otherwise toxic behavior. With that being said, we do have mods in chat across all the platforms. Huge shout out and huge thanks to our moderators who have tirelessly for the last 5 years been here putting up with my ass. Mostly. They're the ones who have to put up with me more than you guys do. And they've done so willingly, voluntarily, for the last 5 years. So huge shout out to my moderators. They're not here to stifle chat in any way, shape, or form. They're here for two missions. One, to give me shit. And two, to make sure that anybody else who would stomp all over your chatting with racist, sexist, misogynist, elitist, and otherwise toxic behavior isn't doing it. I see your question. Shake over on LinkedIn. I'll answer that one here in a little bit. Let me get through a little bit of announcements really fast. We did miss Gone Fishing on Monday with Bobby because he had some internet issues. I did get confirmation from him last night. We will have Bobby today, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Gone Fishing episode. Do make sure you tune into that. Realize it was a little bit of an off schedule. You know how it is with new streams, a little bit bumpy start, but we're excited that, Bobby's excited to continue to do the show. We're excited to continue to have Bobby. So we do ask if you can participate today at 3 p.m. Tune in to Gone Fishing with Bobby Ford. I'll tell you as soon as I can find my Notion notebook what it is that we're going to talk about today. I haven't told Bobby yet, so God, you got a comment for everything. Where's my, there it is. There's that. Where's my, that's right. So I mean, like, I do prep show notes ahead of shows if that's new to a lot of folks, but I want to talk a ton about retail and consumer fraud. We want to talk about deep fakes and some current scam campaigns and deep fakes. We want to talk about scaling social engineering attacks and what some of those scales look like. And we want to do a deep dive segment on the anatomy of an AI-driven deepfake. So that's all going to be happening today. Bell Telephone. Man, I ain't heard that one. Or for folks in the Southeast, Carolina Power and Light. So that's show notes for today. So that's going to be today. Next week, we'll do obviously Threat Brief on Monday with Jason. We'll co-work on Monday. We've got Brandon on Wednesday. We'll have Tea with a Hacker on Friday. We are coming into the holidays. We're coming into the holidays. It's super important for you to make sure that you do have notifications turned on. We do ask that you hop on over to Discord. We do provide updates in Discord pretty frequently. So we do ask that you hop on over into Discord so that you can stay up to date on those updates. That's also where we do our giveaway registration. So you're going to want to be in Discord to be registered for the giveaway. So hop on over to that giveaway notifications channel and make sure you do have that one turned on. Oh, God, you're in a mood this morning. Oh, he's in a mood this morning, chat. Brian and I did spend some time talking about reviving the idea of Behind the Tee. So we will work towards that a little bit. I do want to share something, and this has been, I vetted this with my content team. So Brian's not hearing this for the first time as well. I can assure you this, but a lot of you have asked for me to show some of the AI content that I've been working on, and obviously with the new show coming on board, I have to prep content for a new show that we're doing pretty regularly. That's not new. I always prep content, for a show. I like to come very prepared. If you've been around for a minute, if you've been around, you've seen me in Discord. I'll oftentimes stream in Discord, what my show preparation strategy is like, where I sit down, I research the latest trends and topics. I'll research the guests that we have coming on board. I've got an entire methodical process that I go through whenever I prep stream content. I want to create a RAG-based system where it leverages all my old scripts. I probably have 200 old scripts that I've written for show contents over the last 5 years. I want to feed that into a RAG database, and I want to have a multi-prompt system that will reference all of my old scripts and help me prepare bullet points. I'm not saying that I'm going to have AI generate my scripts. You guys know me better than that. But I am going to build an end-to-end workflow that will help me gather all of the information up so that I can then write my scripts for it. And so I do plan on streaming some night streams here coming up in the next couple weeks before the holidays so that you guys can watch me build some of these systems in N8N. Speaking of which, due to Callie's constant pestering, if you do ! socials, now in my socials is a GitHub page. You can head on over to GitHub. You can see the prompts that I use most of the time. I try to keep it constantly updated with prompts that I use, including the prompt that I use to make my recent MCP servers. Note, this is my stance on this. First and foremost, I will not be releasing code for an MCP server. I don't give away fish, right? You guys have known that. I don't give away fish. But what I will do is I'll give you all the fishing rods, the hooks, the lures, and everything else, and I'll teach you how to fish. So that you have everything there. So you can hop on over to my GitHub. You can see the prompts that I use to build an MCP server. Frazier, who is my co-pilot in the dev space, can attest that we are building good quality code that does work for an MCP server in this space. I think that was it. Doing data recovery on a rated system. Pray for me. Ouch. I thought you were a hacker, Winter Jolt. Doing disaster recovery. All right. Keep the questions coming in. Oh, that's right. I didn't. You know what? See, I even got distracted with the updates. I forgot. So I gave the rule. I didn't give the general suggestion. Right. This is our Friday morning AMA stream. This is AMA stands for Ask Me Anything, which means at any point in time, drop your comment into chat. You can see that the mod team grabs the comments from across the platform, keeps them into a giant queue, and then at any point in time during the stream, we will grab them and post them up on screen, and I will answer them. This is your opportunity to sit down with me, to sit down with me and have some, uninterrupted time. We've got about 2 hours together before I have to run off and go do my real job. It's a great opportunity to sit down with me, ask me some questions about anything that's going on in cyber, life, golf, my golf merch stuff, any of that stuff, and I'm happy to sit down here and answer any of those questions, and we can talk about them all day long in addition to whatever antics I bring to the table. Golf merch update. Hey, it took me a little while to get Callie's request answered to do more AI content. I'm working on. Here's what I'll tell you. I didn't realize how hard it was starting a clothing brand. That was a lot harder than I thought it was, because I'm not about to go to, like, we did have a cyber insecurity merch shop. And it was the most jank thing ever. It was the absolute most jank thing ever. And people bought the merch, and I was like super excited that people were like interested in buying the merch. But I tell you, it was like one really crazy night with me, Beard, Jack, aka Sec IT guy, Amoeba, and a few others, where we sat down and we shit out a bunch of graphics, and we all thought that they looked cool. Yeah. I still have Jack's hat. I've got a Jack sweatshirt, everything. We shit out a bunch of stuff, and we put it on a merch shop. I think somebody found out that the merch shop was still there. I don't know if it still works or not. Heaven help you if you try it. But the merch shop is still there. There is so much shit involved. There is so much. I didn't. Ugh. I want to do it. You can see I do have a new hoodie. I have a new Malbon hoodie. So I'll keep buying people's hoodie. We turned it off because we didn't maintain it. All right. I do want to tell one story before I get to questions. So reminder to get your questions in, and we'll get them there. But I do want to tell one story. I was on site with a customer this week. Now listen, I love going to customer sites. And this is why I'm always an advocate for consulting. This is why I think everybody should do consulting at least once in their life, right? Nothing beats talking to everybody who is practicing cyber on a regular basis. There's no other learning opportunity other than sitting with people who practice cyber on a regular basis. And so I was on site with a customer this week. They had asked me to come in and help them, talk architecture, right? They're very AI forward. This is a Fortune 100 company, so a very, very large organization. Very AI forward. When I talk AI forward, while I was there, they were architecting their change management control process, and they were working through agentic flows for how to get changes through 3 different types of code repos through to Jira and ultimately over to ServiceNow, right? And so, very AI forward, very, very AI forward company. They have grand visions. They have all 3 cloud providers, right? So they've got a presence in Microsoft, a presence in Google, a presence in AWS. Massive, massive organization. Sounds like a real winner, doesn't it? Sounds like they got their shit together. We sat down to kind of do a checkup on architecture, and we sat down with the chief architect at the organization. And we were talking about architecture. We were talking about their idea for trying to create a more thorough log aggregation layer for their organization. Something that could service both IT and cybersecurity, which is rare for a cybersecurity organization, but obviously speaks to some of the challenges that they have. And we sat down with their chief architect, and chief architect had this grand vision, had this absolutely phenomenal vision. And I mean, to listen to him talk, like, he's clearly experienced, clearly done this before. Absolutely fantastic vision. And we all sat back, we were like, this is pretty solid. I mean, we'd make a few tweaks here, do a couple things here, maybe make some suggestions over here. We said, hey, listen, tomorrow, can we sit down with some members from your SOC team? Because before we opine upon this, we just want to make sure that we understand how your SOC team, works today, so that we can see what pitfalls you may run into from an architecture perspective. Yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't you? So we go back to the hotels, come back the next day, sit down first thing in the morning with the couple members from the SOC team. Brilliant folks. I mean, I've seen a lot of SOC folks in my life. These guys are smart. These guys are wicked smart. It's absolutely amazing. They brought up their SIM. They pulled up some detections. They started to go through some detections. We asked them to walk through an investigation. They walked through an investigation, and we pointed out something. We pointed out where there were some gaps in visibility. We pointed out where there were some gaps where they had to leave the SIM to go get data sources and things like that. And all of a sudden, the architect kind of leaned forward, started asking questions. And we all kind of leaned back. Architect kept asking questions. We kept watching. We got to a point, we looked over at the architect and we said, is this your first time seeing the security team walk through an investigation? And he was like, yeah, it is. It was everything in us to not show our emotions in that meeting. Because I do think this is the problem that we run into sometimes, is exactly like Sonic says, siloed in their own orgs, right? Trying to build enterprise capabilities, trying to make the org as successful as possible. They have the best intent. And these are smart people. I mean, these are people with great ideas, great plans, awesome missions, and the discipline to achieve them, who have no idea the parties that they're supporting. No idea how it is that they do their job. And so I know we spend a lot of time on this show shitting on vendors. Lord knows that I know we do a really, really good job of doing that, because they don't know about the products they're building. They don't actually talk to the people that, use the tools and everything else. But I can unequivocally tell you that in large scale cybersecurity teams, it still happens. It is an epidemic of cybersecurity orgs where they're executing their mission and have silos in their own cybersecurity org. And so I say all that. I say all that to just remind you that sometimes you have to take ownership, right? You have to take ownership of making sure that the communication is happening inside your orgs. If you are an architect, go talk to the people you're supporting. If you're building cybersecurity systems inside of orgs, go talk to the people that you're building cybersecurity systems. If you're doing GRC work, if you're checking policies and you're auditing the SOC, go see how the SOC does their day-to-day. right? Also, if you're a user, invite those people to come see what it is that you do. I don't think some of you realize just the power, the absolute power that you can command in an organization to invite peers in other departments to come watch what it is that you do, to come participate in your day-to-day job, to kind of come show them what work looks like in a SOC, at a pen test, on an IR engagement, on a forensics engagement. Even if you're GRC, invite somebody from the SOC to come watch you do an audit, right? And oh my God, who would ever do that? You'd be surprised. Hey, listen, SOC analyst, I got to go talk to the IT team about the policy on password controls. Can you come with me and watch me do this interview and tell me what it is that I missed? Like, the amount of teamwork and synergy and friction that you remove by participating in that type of co-working atmosphere, you'd be surprised the power you would gain in your enterprise if you worked like that. Hey, SOC analyst comes with you. You do this. You've got your set of questions that you talk about all the time, right? Exactly. Tell me what I missed, right? I asked these questions. SOC analyst is like, why didn't you ask me about this? I know for a fact that IT operates in this fashion, or I know for a fact that they've got passwords written on Post-it notes underneath the keyboard on the right-hand side, right? All these things. And the auditor could be like, wow, I never even thought of that. This is awesome. Now I can go make the organization more secure. Right? Right? But you won't know. You won't know until you try. And so that was my big moment for this week. Was a constant sense of disappointment that we are the worst hypocrites in cyber. We're the worst hypocrites in cyber because we complain about passwords. We complain about vibe coding. We complain about vulnerabilities. We complain about vulnerability scans. We complain because nobody looks at pen test reports. We complain because nobody fixes pen test stuff. But we're not willing to admit when we're wrong, and we're not willing to go and partner with our peers in the industry to understand how it is that they do what it is that they do, how we can make it better, or how they can help us make it better. All right? Small soapbox this morning. It's not about, I don't disagree that corporations as a whole don't historically treat dishonesty and vulnerability very nice. It's not about whether the corporation will treat it honestly. You're on a sports team, right? It is. It's pride of work, and it's on a sports team. You want to be the best second baseman ever. Don't let Beard. This is where you keep me from saying a stupid sports pun. So make sure I don't say anything stupid. Right? But we're all on a team together, trying to protect the org. You can't bitch that the organization isn't patching vulnerabilities if you're not having a conversation with IT about vulnerabilities. Right? Insert sports analogy. You got me freaked out over the sports analogy. I did make a sports analogy this week that did get me in trouble. Yeah, I like this, right? One thing I've liked about our spot is our lead manager brings us or tells us a lot about what's going on above instead of traditional handle it all on the back end with no input. Transparency is huge. Transparency is huge. It doesn't happen in every org. And listen, I tell you, like, yeah, you're right. There's a lot of corporate that corporates. There is a lot of corporate that corporates. Absolutely. Somebody's got to be the first in the org to say, nobody's gotten fired. Nobody's gotten fired for teamwork. Ever. Nobody has gotten fired for teamwork. Does it, do you get under some people's skin? Probably, but is that necessarily a bad thing? Is that necessary? Oh man, to be sitting in a staff meeting. You know, I wish Bobby were here for this because this is exactly what I'd say to Bobby. Like, Bobby, you remember we'd sit in the conference room, be Roberta and Natalia and Doug and myself. Could you imagine if Roberta or Natalia had come in and said, I'm going to pick on Brian again because I love picking on Brian. God, I can't believe the audacity of Brian to take the initiative to go over to IT and actually volunteer to help them understand their password situation over there. I can't believe the audacity that Brian would take time out of his day to sit down with a member of the legal team who is genuinely curious on how he did what he does on a day-to-day basis and help educate a member of the legal team. How dare you? How dare you? Right? Be that person. That's a good problem to have. Like you realize that that's a good problem to have. All right, there was a question over on LinkedIn. Can you talk about advanced SOC today or the future of SOC? Absolutely. I love talking about the future of SOC, and I think this dovetails nicely to being on site with this Fortune 100 company, right? I'm excited for the future of SOC. I'm very excited for the future of SOC. I think the SOC teams are finally about to get the support that they need. And they may not like it. But I do think that AI in the SOC is the future. Now, there will be bumpy roads between here and there. This is not me saying that there will not be bumpy roads. I can tell you, just in the last 3 days, I've seen a lot of rocks in the road. A lot of rocks in the road. I'll talk about a few of them. I have kind of two giant predictions for the future of SOC. So I mentioned that this company that I was on site with this week is a very AI forward. Beard, can you find my Substack blog on the topic that I wrote on the future of SOC? I think it should be on my Substack. I do. I got it. I've got it. I'm telling you guys. It is definitely not. I'm sending you a Discord on it right now. There. Anyway, now that rabbit hole has gone down. Jesus Christ. I clearly have no idea how links work. Here it is. It's right here. See, I got it now. This is it. I don't need A+ lessons. Shut your mouth. There we go. That's it. I wrote a blog similar to this. This was back in, when did I write this blog? June 9th. I wrote this blog on June 9th. Because I kind of saw this happening. What? Can I mute an admin? Anyway, when I was at this company this week, they were starting to execute on this blog that I had written back in June. If you take a look at the blog I wrote back in June, but it talks about the future of, and I'll drop this in here for you on LinkedIn because I realized that I didn't post this on all the sources. Here we go. Take for a second, for those who work in a SOC, right, you're used to a SIM, right? You sit down at a console, you got a search bar at the top, you run some searches, you get some rows and columns of data. You may have a few dashboards, right? A SIM, right? I think I saw Sonic say like something negative about Sim up there before. Yeah, give me literally anything other than my current Sim. Right? There aren't a lot of people that wake up in the morning and go, hell yeah, I can't wait to log into my Sim, right? and arguably Sonic Sim is probably like, you know, as close to poop on the ground as you can get, right? There just aren't a lot of people that do that. Right? And this is in addition to all the things that are wrong anyway with today's modern sim. Don't even get me started. We'll do some viewer call-ins. I'll call John Rowell on here, and John Rowell will get on all sorts of soapboxes on what's wrong with today's modern sim, right? Today's modern sim is hot garbage, right? From everything, architecturally to searching to whatever the case is, right? It's hot garbage. But it's what people are used to. This organization that I was with this week is executing on the vision that I painted in that blog that I linked into chat, which is, imagine that you don't interface with a sim at all. Imagine you've got, now listen, I'm going to say a word, I'm going to say a couple words, and I encourage you to shy away from the obvious vomit in your mouth as I say these words and listen to the message that's underneath, okay? I didn't build their architecture. Just understand this is how the architecture was built, right? Everybody ready? Because I'm about to cause some of you to dry heave. They were using Microsoft Copilot. There it is. Wait for the moment to pass. Wait for the moment to pass. There we go. All right, here we go. On the back end, though, they had Claude that it was attached to. So they did, you know, it's Copilot, but at least it's Claude underneath. So they're only half, you know, deranged, right? It's Claude Pilot. Yeah, exactly. So with that being said, what they were, and that's not the innovative part. What the innovative part was, they were starting to wire up all of their business applications that had server-side MCP servers, meaning the user didn't have to run the MCP server on their desktop. It was being owned, maintained, and authed by Salesforce, Jira, et cetera, down the line. And so their security team was investigating things in the SIM, but interacting with the business applications that they could interact with over a chat interface with MCP servers. And they were actively working with their SIM provider to get an MCP server enabled so that they could interact with their SIM in the same way. Right? So imagine that you're sitting at an interface like, don't imagine you're sitting at Copilot. I don't want you to, if you're driving, I don't want you to have an accident. Imagine you're sitting in front of a Claude, window or a ChatGPT window or something like that. And you're simply in natural language directing the MCP servers that you have attached to your instance to go perform the things you need. Hey, go show me the last detections in the last 4 hours for Brian's computer. See, Brian's like surfing the internet when he should be working, and he downloaded some bad malware. Go ahead and quarantine Brian's machine. Now you don't have to pivot to CrowdStrike. Now you don't have to know KQL or SPL or SQL or whatever the case is. You simply direct the model through MCP server to go and perform the task on the target machines. Oh, cool. You got all this investigative data. Now you could say, generate a ticket and submit to ServiceNow or Jira or whatever the case is. The model will make the ticket, automatically interface with Jira, and submit the ticket for you. Now you don't have to wade through Jira hell and understand JQL and everything like that. Right? Right? They're moving in that direction right now, today. Like, literally, I was on site 2 days ago. They're moving in that direction right now. I'm not going to say that it's going to be perfect out the gate. I'm not going to say that it's not wrought with challenges. But they're leaning forward because they believe that is the vision of how security teams will operate their tools. Additionally, they're actively pulling their playbooks out of their SOAR system and writing individual agents that execute the playbooks in SOAR. Now, largely that's because their SOAR provider is charging them on ingest, and they have found out that it is cheaper to have agents perform those SOAR actions than it is to pay ingest costs to the SOAR. Right? So I do believe, I have firm conviction. I wrote about it in June. You can go read that blog. I talk about it, but I do have firm conviction, having seen it on site at a client site this week, that, my friends, is the future of security operations. Right? Even OpenAI is adopting this trend. I shared a link with Frazier earlier this week where somebody had talked about the app submission process. I'm looking it up over on Discord, where I share with Frazier. The app submission process to get an app approved in OpenAI's platform, and you have to provide, as part of the app submission process, your app info, your MCP details, testing scenarios and screenshots and release notes to publish an app on their app directory. So I say all this to say, the reason I've been hyping you guys up to go to my GitHub to see my prompt for MCP servers is that you should be building MCP servers right now for your security tools. You should be leaning into building MCP servers for your security tools. Understand that technology. That technology, not just from a SecOps perspective, but if you are an offensive security aspirant or pro currently, I'm looking at you, Winter Jolt, because I know you're there, right? You need to understand how these technologies work so that you can defend them and break them. Would this be too difficult to try and sort of replicate this in your home lab to create a small POC? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I've been building, come over to SubChat. I'll oftentimes hang out in SubChat on Discord. You can see me build it. So far, I've built a threat intelligence, a CTI process, whereby I gather priority intelligence requirements, and then I pass them off to an MCP server that I wrote in OpenCTI and an MCP server that I wrote in Caldera, not the one that's on GitHub. If you actually pay attention to the one that is on GitHub, the one on GitHub operates inside of Caldera and allows you to create operations inside of Caldera. I built an MCP server that fronts Caldera so that I can run all my operations externally without ever having to be inside the Caldera interface, right? You can do that on your own. You can also use the Elastic Cloud instance, because the Elastic Cloud instance exposes its API for you. So you can absolutely spin up a free version of Elastic Cloud. Do that. You can spin up a free version of Teapot, APIs on Elastic. You can do that. You can run those locally. No, this is not impossible to do on a home lab. Absolutely not. This is not impossible to do. Anybody can do this today. 1,000%. How are failing playbooks in AI any different than failing playbooks in SOAR? Don't you have alerting that tells you when a playbook fails? Don't you have failover mechanisms to where the playbook runs again if the playbook fails? Same things are built into AI. It's no different. It's no different. Right? Moving to Twitch right now. No, there's no difference. And listen, here's the thing. When you own the agent, you actually own the failover process, right? So in a lot of the ones that I've built, right, I build several things into all my agents. Number one, I build evaluations so that if you ask it a question, it's going to make sure that that answer is the same every single time. And if it's different, why was it different? right? If you hit a token limit and you throw an error, Chris and I were playing around with the Caldera one that we've got out there, right? And we hit some token limits on the model when we were passing it large. I mean, we hit context size on like the list abilities function that we built right out the gate. You know, absolutely hit the token limit there. That's a perfectly good use case where it's like, okay, that's an error that the model hit. We need to find a way to build that form of error handling into the agent. I would argue it's easier to build error handling into an agent than it is in today's modern SOAR playbooks. They don't expose that type of logic to you in today's SOAR playbooks. Right? So I think that's the big thing you'd asked about. Can you talk about the advanced SOC today or the future of SOC? I do think the future of SOC is AI driven. It doesn't look at all like it does today. Listen, I look at AI vendors in the SOC space all the time. I'm looking at one right now that I was asked to research. I have CISOs who text me all the time and ask me to opine upon AI vendors that are out there. I've looked at two this week. One of the ones that I looked at this week is the epitome of AI slop garbage. Right? It is the epitome of AI slop garbage. They claim to have written an IR agent, a threat hunting agent, a GRC agent, and a pen testing agent that's coming soon, and it is nothing more than a ChatGPT wrapper. It's nothing more than a ChatGPT wrapper. It's disgusting. It's disgusting that companies like this are out there, and everybody is right to be cynical. Like, I never give Brian shit or Sonic for their shit cynicism on AI. They are 100% right to be cynical on it, and everybody should be cynical on it, but they should be creatively cynical. They should be creatively cynical. What do I mean by creatively cynical? I think creatively cynical, right, is go learn it. The technology is here to stay. It's not going anywhere. And so you can still learn it. That way, when people are like, oh, did you see that somebody released, this great MCP server for Kali, and they're claiming it to be the most autonomous pen testing, AI-driven, hacker-focused thing out there on the internet? And you'd be like, that's hot garbage. Because I can tell you that is the conversations that I'm having every week. Somebody sees something new and they don't know whether it's hot garbage or not. You want to be seen as an expert in this space? Go learn as much as you can about AI and debunk what's hot garbage versus what's not. You'll be cooler at parties with your friends if you can pick out hot garbage on GitHub. Right? Exactly, Outcast. 100%. Right? We're overhyped on AI. Thank you. This was our stream with Bobby. Bobby's going to be back on today at 3 p.m. Make sure you do tune in today at 3 p.m. Eastern. Bobby will be back on today. Said it best, right? We're overhyped on AI in the short term, but underhyped on it on the long term. Right? I do believe everybody out there should be learning it, hands down. For those who didn't know I had a Substack, there I posted my Substack. You can go subscribe to my Substack and read the stuff that I write about randomly. Prometheus says, do you think it's an actual good tool to build and ship as SaaS? I think Vibe coding has lowered the barrier to entry. And you don't have to like the name, Beard. I understand it's a stupid name, Beard. But its practical application has lowered the barrier to entry and has accelerated idea to production. And so with that in mind, if you can think it, you can make a SaaS tool out of it. I'm not here to debate whether I think, something should or shouldn't be a SaaS tool. To each their own. We've seen all sorts of weird stuff hit the market. Lord knows there's a lot of weird apps that exist out there on the app space today. So I'm not here to argue the merits of whether something should or should not be a tool. But I think here's my wish. Here would be my wish for you as an aspiring cybersecurity professional, or even if you've got 5 years of experience or 10 years of experience or even 20 years of experience in this space. My wish for you is that if you've always had an idea about what you thought could be better tooling in cyber. I had to make sure I said tooling, because if I said what would be better for cyber, half the cynical people in this chat would be like, cool, I'm out. Get rid of all the users, get rid of all the people. If you've ever had an idea of what you thought could be better cybersecurity tooling, now is the best time to go try to build it. I implore you to go try to build it. I implore you to go try to build it. Right? With the way coding is today, with the way software engineering is today, with the way development is today, if you have an idea, I don't care how big, I don't care how small, I don't care how stupid you think it is, I don't care whether you're like, well, somebody has already done that, I'm not a software engineer, vibe coding is stupid, security, blah, 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 whatever the case is, stop that. Stop it right now. Go build it. Go build it. Go learn to vibe code, go download Anti-Gravity, go down Cursor, go download, whatever, Windsurf, whatever. Go down whatever, vibe coding IDE you want. Go pay for you a $20 subscription to Claude Code and sit down and write it. And if you want, and if you don't know where to start, go to my GitHub and look at the documents that I published, right? I published a product requirement documents, right? I published I published product requirement documents, then use those product requirement documents to drive my agent instructions for how to write my MCP server. It's a very simple process to follow. Right? Very simple process to follow. And before you know it, you'll have you an app. You'll have you some tools. Right? All that stuff. So I don't think you should be worried about, you should be curious. You should be skeptically curious about the tools that exist. I think this was in reference to the comment I made about the pen testing tools on GitHub. Listen, this may come as a shocker to some of you. But hacking gets a lot of clicks on the internet. I know. That, grasp your pearls. And so if you wanted to be the latest and greatest internet sensation, how about you just go write an MCP wrapper for Kali and throw it up on GitHub and be like, I just created the first autonomous kit. Right? Don't you think that's the greatest way to get clicks out on the internet? Or releasing your latest and greatest AI security course. So I say all that to say, I evaluate all these tools. I look at their GitHub, I read through the code, analyze it, install it, take a look at it, everything. Some of it's legit. I don't mind telling you the projects that I think are legit, but I can tell you that 99% of it is exactly what Sonic and Beard preach about when they talk about AI slop. It is somebody who has slapped a ChatGPT wrapper around Kali and said, hey, look at me. Hey, look at me. Which is why I think if you've got an idea, you should go out there and build it on your own. Because I think some of you, this is my belief that I have with some of you. Some of you are smarter than you let on to be. And you've gone about your days tricking society or lying to yourself, one of the two, about how awesome you are. Right? Some of you have lied to yourself about how awesome you are. And I think once you sit down and put your skills to work to build something that you have said in your head, this would be awesome if this existed in cyber. I do this thing every day. I'm going to vibe this out. I'm going to vibe a solution out to this. I'll give you a case in point. I will give you a case in point. I'm trying to think if I obscure the names or not. That's what I'm trying to figure out. The pause is like, do I obscure the names or do I tell them this person? I'll obscure the names on this. I'll obscure the names on this one. They had come to me complaining. That they had a task that they had to do. It was part of their day-to-day task. They had to basically look at log files, identify error messages, and submit JIRA tickets for those log messages. They had a template. They had a format in which they submitted these JIRA tickets. So they had everything. They'd been doing it. It wasn't a new task. They'd been doing it. But there were hundreds of these error messages. And they were like, there's a lot here. I said, well, does your org have a enterprise subscription of ChatGPT, of OpenAI, right? And they're like, yeah, we use, we're an OpenAI shop. We use ChatGPT. And I was like, cool, go download Atlas, the new agentic browser. And they're like, really? I heard that those things were terrible. I was like, no, let me show you, right? Go download Atlas. He goes to download Atlas. Downloads Atlas. Thanks, Original Copy, for the raid. Glad to see you. Welcome over. Hope you had a fantastic stream. This is our Friday morning AMA stream. And sitting here answering questions about cybersecurity for the community. Cybersecurity from the community. As you can see down here on the screen, we're answering some questions. So anyway, as I was saying, downloaded Atlas. And I said, cool. In one tab, bring up your logs, and in another tab, bring up your JIRA window. It does that. We do a couple tweaks. We work on a prompt, right? We tweak it a little bit, and then all of a sudden, we let Atlas run. Now all of a sudden, his multi-hour task took him about 30 minutes. Most of that time was spent working on the prompt. Atlas went through one by one each individual error message, grabbed the data out of the error message, matched it to his exact template, submitted JIRA tickets in exactly the right format, one by one. Right? All the way through. I say all that to say there are significant advantages to using AI in cyber. There are significant advantages to using AI in your workspace. And so I would implore you that if you have an idea, go learn to vibe code it and see it into existence. Go see it into existence. I think you'd be surprised just the amount of awesomeness that you guys could come up with. I believe in you. Bay says, how do people deal with cybersecurity addiction? I wake up every day and find myself unable to wait to log into a sim. I don't know if I'm as excited to log into a sim as you are, but I've talked a lot on stream about my passion for cybersecurity. I've been in this space for my entire life, right? Since the 90s. And this is the first time. This is the first time that I've seen technology shift again in my career where it makes me excited to be in the space, right? I think this shift that we have in technology now, the rise that we're seeing of AI, is great for all of us, right? Whether you adopt it, whether you defend against it, whether you hack it, whatever your passion is in that space, I think now is a fantastic time to be alive in this space. Like this is a great time. Right? This is a great time. Speaking of, I do want to give you the daily dose of CEO blackpilling, because I know how much Sonic loves to hear from overpriced executives spouting their opinions on the internet. I did forget that I pulled this one, out to tell you. The SoftBank CEO, so that should tell you the source of this opinion. The SoftBank CEO slammed AI doubters as goldfish and hallucinators and suggested that AI models will be smarter than every human on Earth by the end of the decade. And I did say goldfish. I did say, yes, I know. I did say goldfish. The CEO of SoftBank called AI doubters goldfish. So we need a goldfish emoji to drop into chat for all of my AI doubters. Sun told a crowd of SoftBank World Corporate Conference in Tokyo on Wednesday that he believes AI will be 10 times more powerful than any human intelligence by 2030, and that companies must take advantage of it or be left behind. We saw recently that Mark Zuckerberg, this is going to be funny for those who remember, we talked about this on stream. Do you guys remember when Mark Zuckerberg changed the name from Facebook to Meta over this whole metaverse thing? Anybody remember that? Well, he's finally fired and disbanded his entire metaverse division. And I kid you not, his stock went up 7% yesterday as soon as he announced that he was cutting costs in the metaverse division. I don't have my trading view up right now, or I tell you how much it was. Yes. So I know we've heard about transformative things in the past, but I do believe this one is here to stay. Yeah, no, my metaverse property. Yes. Listen, like we talk about leaning into technology. I leaned into the metaverse. We started talking about the technology behind crypto, right? At no point in time did we ever hype up a coin. At no point in time did we ever hype up that you should go do crypto trading. We weren't on that bandwagon. As a matter of fact, the mod team had several conversations about how deep do we get into this, right? And we held short of having a cyber coin because we couldn't see a way to implement it that it wouldn't be perceived as fraud. And so we chose not to do that because that wasn't the message that we wanted to send. We wanted to see if the technology had merit. And we talked heavily about the technology. We did NFTs, but not for any form of, monetary reasons other than to just encourage people to adopt the technology. We had done NFTs for guests who would be on the show, and we had the guests commit that they would do mentorship sessions and we would hide passphrases on the in the embedded of the code of the NFTs. And if you had the NFT and you passed the passcode to the guest, you got a free mentorship session with that guest. And that worked for a while. That was an amazing way to get people interested in having real conversations around NFTs. And we see what's happened with that. It's relatively died off. I don't think the technology is dead, but it's had a hard road of adoption. Right? I'm encouraging you to lean into, exactly. I'm encouraging you to lean into to AI, right? Lean into new tech, right? Lean into new tech. That's the only way that, I do not believe that you are in a position to opine upon its legitimacy if you have not spent the time to understand it. I think that that's fair to ask of anybody. Right? If your opinion comes from reading the headlines on some news articles and deriving an opinion from it, or if your opinion of AI comes from interacting with ChatGPT on the free tier, I don't believe that you are in a position of authority to opine upon AI. This is the right conversation here. Absolutely. Now, don't get married to a vendor. Right? Don't get married to a vendor. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. We're way too early for that. Anybody see the drama with OpenAI this week? The OpenAI drama this week was nuts. Right? They are freaking out over Google's Gemini. And this is what we want. We want competition in this space. We want competition in this space. That's what's ultimately going to lead to Skynet killing all of us. Gemini is really nice. Ko-Fi over on LinkedIn says, just ordered an AI engineering book for my SOC lab for this reason. Absolutely. I've got a handful of books that I read around prompt engineering. I've had other CISOs and other CEOs come and ask me to give tutorials to their company on prompt engineering. Again, I'm not trying to say that this is the greatest thing since sliced bread. But the world is moving fast, and I just don't want you guys to get left behind. Genuinely, that's my message to you. The reason I shove this in your face is because I don't want you to get left behind. I don't want you to get left behind. You do. I don't hate this. Most of you, listen, I'm going to say the quiet part out loud. Most of you are in cybersecurity because it pays good. I get it. I really do. It does pay good. You want to keep getting paid? Lean into new tech. Don't miss the hype wave, right? The people who get paid the most are the early adopters. Right? You have to live through. Listen, I will absolutely date myself. I was in IT in the 90s. I watched the internet grow up from bulletin boards. I was hacking universities over 24K modems when we had nothing but terminals. I watched Google, I watched Yahoo, I watched AOL, I watched all these companies go parabolic on their stock curve. And I didn't invest in it because I was stupid, because I thought money was stupid, I thought the stock market was stupid, I thought all of that. The people who got rich then were people who adopted it early. I absolutely want you to get your bag. I absolutely want you to get your bag. Do not, be cynical, but don't be ignorant, right? Be cynical, but don't be ignorant. You have to invest money to make money. And the best time, like that's why it's gambling. Beardsek's right? It is magic sorcery lines. It's also the next closest thing to legalized gambling. But it has the highest track record of making millionaires and billionaires out there. Right? Get your bag. I want every single one of you. I want every single one of you posting Lambos on LinkedIn like you're getting them for freaking Christmas gifts. Not by mooching courses off of people who just want a job. Right? I need that Lambo. That's right. What we have I'm a member of a car club here in Raleigh, the Carolina Exotic Car Club. And it is always fun to go to the club because they've got this like showroom where members put their exotic cars, and it's like walking into just an absolute dream of a building with like crazy amounts of show cars there. Beardsec is actually very happy with his 4Runner. I've never seen a man happier with a 4Runner than Beardsec. Hey, I got no problem with being a Gramps. I don't actually know if I'm a Gramps or not. Don't know. I do not mind the benefit of age-driven wisdom. I'm happy to sit here and be a curmudgeon-y old man who talks about AI and tries to warn you that the apocalypse that could have been in the 90s .com boom. Right? You still have the Hemi and the Jeep, or have you got something else now? We still have the Hemi and the Jeep. Yeah, it's in the shop. I need to have it shipped back here. Oh, I know it wasn't hate speech. I was lamenting with you and enjoying the compliment. No, I appreciated it. Really do. It's not a dumb statement at all. No. And again, this is what we talk about. We appreciate all walks of, like, again, we are a huge fan of civil discourse here, right? We're a huge fan of civil discourse here, right? Nobody's going to hate you. Nobody's going to kick you out. That's not what we're about here. Please, we welcome this type of conversation. Please don't forget there are people out there who would give anything to have the problems in your job. You're absolutely right. Which is why I'm an advocate for go get your bag. Don't do unethical shit. Don't do shady shit. Don't if you're 3 years in, don't sell a course for $1,000 and think that you're God's gift to ethical hacking. But you should every day do everything you can to go get your bag. Right? You should do that. Everybody should be doing that in whatever way possible. And again, don't do unethical shit. Don't do illegal shit. Don't, at 3 years of experience, don't try to go sell a $1,000 course like your God's gift to ethical hacking. Right? Don't do that, but go get your bag. Whatever it takes. Listen, and some people, when I say this, the other side of this is when I say this, some people are like, Neil, stop with the grind culture. Stop with the hustle culture. Stop with that task, that toxic masculinity. Stop with that stuff. No, I won't. Because you have to realize if you don't look out for yourself, nobody else will. This world won't do it. The stock market won't do it. The SoftBank CEO won't do it. Nobody will do it. You have to. You have to look out for yourself. Right? No one's coming to save you. I want you to go get your bag. I really do. I'll help you get there. Like I'm not here to gatekeep any ideas. Listen, I'm 46 years old. I got 20 years left in my career if I'm lucky. Right? You guys have got your entire lifetime ahead of you. Right? You guys have got so much time ahead of you to be millionaires, to get your bag and everything else. What's the latest the thoughts on the latest wave of side hustle culture? Appears that individuals have resorted to multiple income streams because one source isn't as reliable. I have thoughts on this. I've sat at dinners with CISOs and had a similar conversation. Right? I think again, drastic opinion. And again, I remind everybody, you come here for my opinions. I don't claim that my opinions are right, wrong, or indifferent. You know, they're not gospel. I don't say that you should go take them to the bank. They are simply just opinions. And I encourage everybody to agree or disagree with my opinions across all the platforms. But I have conviction on this opinion. I don't think that the people who have side hustles is because one source of income isn't enough or reliable. I do not believe that to be the case. I think people have side hustles because they realize that they can work multiple jobs and have a work-life balance and make a shit ton of money. Right? Because COVID taught us, right? COVID taught us that 40 hours a week isn't actually 40 hours a week. Right? Wake up, have a couple meetings, you do some tasks, right? You're not locked into an office, and you're like, wow, okay, so I mean, I got a lot of extra time in the day. I got a lot of time during the day. Cool. I wonder if I can use that time. This is what it is. I wonder if I can use that time to make more money. Okay. Well, I'll go get a second job, or I'll get a part-time job, or I'll start a side hustle or something else like that. Oh, shit, okay. Wow, now I'm making 2 times my salary, and I'm still not working a whole lot. Or maybe I am working as much as I want. Like, okay, cool, that's enough. I'll work 2 jobs and make twice as much money, and that's 40 hours a week. Okay. All right, I'll take that off. I'll take that. And then I've seen some people who've got like 3 or 4. Some people get addicted to it. Some people get addicted to that overworking culture because they can make $300, $400, $500, $600,000 a year working multiple jobs. And they're like, shit, if I can do this for a year or 2, and this isn't new. This isn't new. I remember some of my friends in the military who would get out of the military to go work government contracts from where they just left to go right back over to Iraq and Afghanistan to go be government contractors for no other reason other than they can make 2x, 3x, 4 times the money. And they'd say, you know what? I'm just going to go do it for a year. I'm just going to go do it for a year or 2 and bank all of that extra money, and then I'll stop going. Right? So it's not a new concept to realize that for short-term pain, you can have long-term gain. And that's exactly the right mentality. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I encourage everybody to do it. Now here's where it gets tricky. Right? Here's where it gets tricky. Not everybody treats that mentality the same. There's definitely a lot of leadership that doesn't like that. I've worked for some of those leaders. I've been running cyber insecurity since 2020. I've had my own personal consulting business since 2015, right? So well over 10 years. And it's a conversation. It's a conversation with almost everybody. It's a conversation with almost every leadership that I've had. It's things that I've had to contractually put into work agreements. And it is something that has caused me to quit a job because all of a sudden they decided to change their thought and perception on it. And so you have to be willing to take the good with the bad in that conversation. But I will tell you that I've talked to several CISOs. So I say all that to say, here's where I think the future of employment is going. Now, I do believe this. This is Neil forward looking. This is Neil forward looking. The current economy, with all the layoffs, I think full-time employment, in the sense of W-2 employment, will continue to decline. I don't think it's explicitly because of AI. I think that there are financial squeezes happening across the market. Right? There are financial squeezes happening across the market. And it is cheaper for an enterprise to hire a 1099 contractor than it is to hire a full-time employee. It is more cost effective for them to hire a contractor to complete a project than it is for them to hire a full-time employee to do a project and ask themselves, well, what am I going to do when that project's done? And so I'm not a fortune teller. I'm not a fortune teller. I have no crystal ball, so I can't tell you when this will start or when this will end or how big of the impact will be. But what I can say is that for the foreseeable future, if you were looking for my, kind of guesstimate as to where the market is going on this, if you're not thinking about side hustle culture right now, you could, I'm not saying this, don't run out and do this today. You could find yourself without a safety net if your company decides to move in this direction. Right? You should be prepared. And here's how I would phrase this, right? You're working for a company today. Full-time employee. They come to you and offer you, or they don't, I guess they don't really offer you a layoff. Poor choice of words. Hi, would you like to be laid off today? No, thank you, but can I get a large Diet Coke? Poor choice of words. Hey, Neil, I'm sorry. Query's closing down. We've got to make some price cuts. We got to let you go. Matt, high five. It's been a ride. I absolutely loved it. Listen, I know that my work isn't going to go away, and I know that you've got to give my work over to somebody else. I tell you what, let's set aside some hours, 5 hours a week, 10 hours a week, something like that. Let's agree on a rate card. And why don't you bring me on as a contractor for 6 months to transition all of my stuff over? What does that hurt you in a conversation about getting laid off? Right? Doesn't, right? And there you go. Now you've got more. Now you got the income coming in, and now you've started your business. Right? Now you've started your business. Because now you can then take that and be like, hey, I'm building AI agents over here, to support this organization. Let me go build some AI agents for you. If you're not thinking about safety nets, I would encourage you to think about safety nets. Right? I want you to get your bag. No company will look out for you. No company is going to look out for you. And so you have to look out for yourself. And there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing unethical about that. There's nothing disingenuous about that. There's nothing anti-loyal about that. None of that. Right? You got a family to look out for. God, I can't even begin to tell you how I will tell you to go out today. If you don't have an LLC, go make you an LLC today. Go register you a business. $20, maybe 50 depending on the state, 100 if you live in stupid states like Illinois and South Carolina, right? Go register you an LLC. Always have a business ready. Other than agents, is there less tech-focused hustles you like or want to look into? I tell you right now, if I had to get out of tech, I know exactly what I would do. I've talked to you guys about my desire to go be a PGA Tour pro. Short of being a PGA Tour pro, there's a construct of a PGA professional. Just like there's a cyber professional, a legal professional, yada, 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 yada. I could go get a job at a golf course. I could do whatever jobs exist at a golf course, and I could pursue a PGA professional certification. Yes, a PGA Tour pro is different than a PGA professional. NC State, and I've looked into NC State has a caddy program. They have a caddy certificate that you can go get from NC State for $3,500. 1 week's worth of training. You can go get a caddy certification from NC State Golf Club. You can go work at a golf course, apply to be a PGA professional. You pass a player ability test, which means you have to shoot, I think it's a 3-day event. I think it's 54 holes, I think. 54 holes, and you have to average under 80 for 54 holes. Right? And you pass a player ability test, and you get some OJT, and you are a PGA professional. And you can go be a head pro at a club. You can teach, with the PGA professional moniker, all that type of stuff. That's the path I would go. If I had to get out of cyber tomorrow, if AI took all my work, if AI made me obsolete, which I wouldn't complain about whatsoever, that's what I'd do tomorrow. I'd go be a PGA professional. Absolutely. That's the best line ever right there. That's the best. So a golf hat instead of a white hat or a black hat. Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's why this is why I stream. If this is news to you, this is why I stream. I want to teach all of you everything that's in my head and call it. Before I leave this industry, I want you all to have everything that I have. I want you to have financial success. I want you to have freedom. I want you to have a successful career. I want you to have all the knowledge in my head from years and years and years and years and years. I want you to have all this knowledge from my years. And then when the opportunity comes, I'm going to shake your hand and I'm going to walk away and I'm going to go play golf. I'm going to go be a PGA professional and I'm going to go teach people how to hit little white balls across the golf course. And I'm going to leave this. I definitely don't see myself being in this career forever. I've been in this space since the 90s. I've been hacking since I was hacking before I could drive a car. The sooner I get out of here, the happier I'll be. But before I go, you and everybody who's smart enough to tune into these streams, to get every ounce of experience that I've got in this industry. Take advantage of it while you can, because I will leave this space and I'll go hit little white golf balls. I would, Hector, you and I have talked about this. I would love to do golf content. I would love to do golf content. I wish this is one of those times where like I have too many side hustles, and my side hustles like kind of conflict with each other. If you ask me, no. You should get a master's degree in business. Keep pushing me on the golf content. I would love to do golf content. And listen, like I'm not a huge fan of YouTube golf. I actually despise YouTube golf. I despise YouTube golf. These videos of these guys running with their arms in the air and their clubs in the air, you know, as they hit a ball on a green as if they've like cured childhood cancer, absolutely disgust me. Absolutely disgust me. YouTube golf has turned into, I'm not good enough for the pros, so watch me act like I'm good enough for the pros, but never actually be pro. What I'd love to do, and Beard and I have talked about this as to what this format would look like, I'd love to do interviews on the golf course. Imagine, like, you don't have to be good for it. I don't need you to go be like a scratch golfer, to do this. But I'd love to take BeardSec out on the golf course and let's play some golf and do an interview, right? Let me take a CISO out on the golf course, do an interview, right? Not 18 holes, like 9 holes, maybe even 3 holes, who knows, right? But I'd love to do golf content mixed with interview style, right? Totally. 10 of 10 would love to do that. Like, and that's like, I haven't ruled that out. If I had to walk away from my job, I haven't ruled out doing that type of golf content, right? Kind of like that golf and cyber mix. 100%. 100%. I could talk about golf all day, guys. You have no idea. So, BeardSec is going to produce. Maz is going to do all the hardware for video equipment. Jens is going to handle the social media for it. And we just got to get people to come and golf with me and let me interview them. Best place to start with cybersecurity. This is the worst question in the world. I hate that this question dominates our field. I'm not going to answer this question. Terrible streamer won't answer my question. No, I'm going to answer your question differently. Nobody can tell you where to start. There's nowhere to start. There's not a doormat that says start here. There's not a start to the yellow brick road. If you ask anybody in this channel, if you ask anybody on Discord, if you ask anybody in the internet, everybody started differently. Everybody, exactly, every gatekeeper says help desk, and that's just absolute bullshit. Right? There is no starting location. There is only doing. Just put your hands on a keyboard and start doing something. Do something. Do something that interests you. Do something. You saw the comment from Bay earlier who was like, who else is so addicted to cyber that they can't wait to log into a sim in the morning? Do something that excites you. Listen, we talk about going to get your bag. If you can't get excited about doing something, why are you in this industry? And if you can get excited about it, that's where you should be starting. You should be starting where it's exciting. So the answer to your question, is go do something exciting. And I see your follow-up. The follow-up is I'm asking for your opinion. What would I do if I had to start again? But if I had to start again, I'm starting at a different time. I'm starting at a different place. Are you asking me to start again with the knowledge that I have now? Or are you asking me to start again with zero knowledge? Because if I started again with zero knowledge, I would do the exact same thing I did before, which was to grab a keyboard and just start typing. When I was hacking bulletin boards in the 90s, it was because there was something in a university that I wanted that somebody had told me no. And I said, as a pestilent little 13-year-old, you're not going to tell me no. And I just did it. There was no Google. I hate to be that old man. There was no Google. There was no YouTube videos. There was nothing. I just had to go do it. Right? And so if you're asking me what I would do if I had to start again, go learn AI. Go put your hands on stuff. Go to Try Hack Me. Go to Hack the Box. Those are not endorsements. They don't pay for this stream. They don't give me money, whatever. But go put your hands on a keyboard and go do something. The challenge that almost everybody has in this industry is that they are paralyzed by indecision. I know. I get it all the time. Where's Maz at? Maz might still be asleep. Where's Maz at? I am paralyzed by indecision all the time. It happens to everybody. Just go do something, and you will find how absolutely amazing it is when you just go do something. Right? Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Fix It. Fix It's exactly spot on. I forgot that. Advent of Cyber is running right now. Completely and totally free on Try Hack Me. Go do that. I saw people in chat saying, go do the free stuff first. Absolutely. I love this analogy, right? You don't complete a marathon by planning every step in advance. You complete it by doing one step at a time. Or if you're like me, you look at a marathon and go, screw that. Or my other thing, I'll look at a marathon and go run one for the first time, realize how absolutely hard it is, and then start training. Sater, thank you so very much for the Prime sub. I appreciate you using your Prime on this channel. I appreciate you using your Prime on this channel. As a reminder, we take all money earned on this channel and subs and turn it right back over into giveaways that we do on the stream. Make sure you hit that exclamation point Discord. Boop. And make sure you're in the giveaways channel. All right. Yeah, good idea. Got to find the baseline first. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I'll be that person that'll go run a marathon and get to the end of it and be like, that was a terrible idea. That was a terrible idea. Now, how do I train for it? That's actually, so that has unfortunately been my learning style. That is legitimately my learning style. When I started learning AI, I had to go do it and fail to know what it was I was doing. right? For golf, ADHD, thanks for the resub with your Prime. I appreciate that. And the starting of the hype train. If you're into collecting the emotes on Twitch, now's an opportunity to participate in the hype train to collect those emotes on Twitch. When I did golf, right? So I don't know if I've told this story. I may have told this story on stream. When I got diagnosed with cancer, I needed something to take my mind off of cancer, right? It's kind of a mental suck. So anyway, I needed something to get my mind off of, and so I was like, I'm going to go play competitive golf. Now, I didn't spend months training for competitive golf. I signed up for a tournament the first day it was available to me in April. So like right when the weather got warmed, I signed up for a tournament in April, and I went out and I embarrassed the hell out of myself. I shot 137. I shot a miserable, I was so mad. I lost 2 boxes of balls. I was mad. I was like, screw this game. I'm never playing again. Like, this is the dumbest idea I ever had on trying to be a pro golfer. Like, stupid. I was so mad. And then after I got mad, and after I realized that this is what I wanted to do, and after I realized that this was good for me, and that I realized that I was passionate about this and I did love it, I went out and learned. I went out and learned the mechanics. I went out and learned about the golf swing. I went out and learned about what golf balls were made of, what golf clubs were made of. I went out and learned physics about how the golf swing works. I learned about grasses. I learned about wind conditions. I learned about all these things. I watched videos. Did I know where to start? No. I didn't go to a stream and say, how do I start playing golf? How do I learn to be competitive in golf? This is my learning style. I went out and kicked my shins on every 2x4 I could to learn how to play golf the right way. Did it take me longer than others? Maybe. I mean, I'm 2 years in and I'm a single-digit handicap. I've won 2 tournaments this year already. Tournament started in September before it got too cold and we're in the off season. I've won 2 tournaments this year already. I won 4 last year. Right? Does that make it the right way? No. Does that make it the best way? No. But it is a way that I found throughout my career that worked for me. I learned my learning style, and I adapted my learning style to what worked for me to be the person that I am today. So that may be a story about golf, but that's a path you should follow. That's a path you should look at and be like, what works for you? What is your learning style? Who do you like learning from? What resonates for you? Are you a book reader? Are you a hands-on person? What works for you? And you should go out there and do it. That's how you get started. That's how. If I had to start again, that is exactly how I would start. Here's what I will say. I'm learning that, right? So I make the quib about, when I was coming up in cyber, there was no YouTube, there was no Google, there was no anything else. And I have often asked myself, would I be better at cyber if there had been a YouTube when I was growing up? But I can look at my golf journey and say that YouTube and TikTok and Instagram were absolutely a disaster in my golf journey. Absolutely a disaster. And here's why. You learn bits and pieces of the puzzle from other people who have different learning styles, who have different teaching styles, who in the case of golf have different golf mechanics. They have different body mechanics. Their body works differently, just like your mind works differently. Right? And so you can watch somebody. I will never have Rory swing. Not because I suck at golf, not because I'm, not 27 years old, right? Whatever the case is, he has a different body mechanic than I do. Tall or short, exactly, Hector. I'll never have Rory, or I'll never have Scotty's swing. Scotty's 6 foot something. I'll never have that swing. I'll never be that tall. Like, who are you kidding? I'm 5'8" barely. If I'm standing up straight and I'm wearing shoes. Right? I'd love to have swings like those guys, but it's not that my swing sucks. My swing is actually an amazing swing. If anybody saw my Instagram, go follow my Instagram. My wife Carmen posted for a tournament that I went to in Florida, where I went to the driving range the night before the tournament to warm up, where I got 2 swings in, and some dude next to me came and asked me for swing advice because he saw the way that I was hitting the ball. He's like, dude, you got such a smooth swing. It doesn't look like Rory's. It doesn't look like Scotty's. It doesn't look like those guys. It looks like my swing based on my body mechanics, based on my athleticism, based on what works for me. And so I say all that to say, that's what you have to do. That's why, yes, YouTube golf is stupid, just like YouTube cyber is stupid, just like Instagram cyber is stupid, just like TikTok cyber is stupid. This is why I will never do cyber content. I'll never sit here and teach you how to do things on TryHackMe. I'll never sit here and do, Advent of Cyber videos. I did one time. And it was cool. It was interesting to do. But I just didn't like teaching people my way of doing things because it was my way of doing things. And I've heard these arguments for years. But Neil, we'd love to see inside your head. Then come to a stream and listen to me talk. You'll hear more about what's inside my head in these 2 hours that I talk than you ever will watch me do a TryHackMe video. Ever. 100%. Every day, all day, every day. You have to find your own way. Are you for real? Oh, hell yeah. Like, I'm super excited for this. Like, I get excited for this. Go follow Fixit on Twitch and YouTube and go watch her TryHackMe video. Fixit does amazing content. Please go do it. Please go do it. Totally support Fixit on this. I'm excited for you. Yay. I can't wait to see it drop. I'll watch it. Right? Find your own path. Find your own journey. Can't stress that enough. Reminder, today, 3 p.m. Eastern Time, we got Bobby for Gone Fishing. Make sure you tune in today at 3 p.m. for Gone Fishing. Excited to have Bobby on. We're going to talk about deep fakes. We're going to talk about holiday scams, holiday social engineering, things like that. It'd be a good opportunity to come and listen to Bobby and I do some more antics. If you missed our stream earlier, make sure you go check out our stream on YouTube and Twitch. Real quick, this is the only plug that I'll do for it. But I genuinely appreciate the help with the algorithm. I'm not here to work the algorithm. I don't care whether I've got 1 million viewers or 1 viewer. I would still stream this content. But as you see, our numbers have gone up on Twitch because we've had a lot more chatters today. I'm really starting to buy into some of this black pill that the algorithm has changed, that if you're not chatting, it's not counting you as a viewer. I know we've got more viewers than this. And so I appreciate everybody who broke out of their shell today and commented. Especially, I saw a lot of first-time viewers today who chatted today, and so I truly, genuinely appreciate it. It does make me happy. So I do thank you for that. But I do also ask, if you're so inclined, please also make sure that if you see me on LinkedIn, you interact with my content on LinkedIn. If you see it on YouTube, if it shows up on your feed, just hit that like button, drop a comment in there, something to help us with the algorithm, right? Help us with the algorithm. But again, I'm not upset if you don't. I really don't give a shit. But if you're so inclined, please do so. With that being said, I think we are going to call it here for today. I've got a meeting that I've got to run to here soon. We are going to raid Fixit. Do not go anywhere on Twitch. We're going to go raid Fixit. Oh, yeah, that's right. Thank you, Fixit. I forgot to mention that. Real quick, everybody who posted in Discord all their Twitch recaps, all the people who posted Twitch recaps, who you know, I'm your most watched stream. I can't even begin to tell you how much I blushed. I may have shed a tear for that. It humbles me. It humbles me to even to know that stat. I can't even begin to tell you the emotions that run through me to know that. I don't think that there's any words to describe it. It is truly the reason why I do this. I truly do fundamentally believe that you don't have to believe in God or religion or whatever it is. We're not here to talk about religion or politics. But I do believe that my platform, my cancer journey, has given me an opportunity to share my life experiences with as many people that will tune into this stream as possible. So that when I leave, you all have as close to my knowledge as we can get together as a team. I want all of you, you don't have to be, I want you to be yourselves. I want you to be your own people. But if I can download the digest of information that I have in my skull to every single one of you, that's all I ask for. That's all I ask for. I want you to have it. There's nothing in my head that you guys can't have. There's nothing in my head that you guys aren't entitled to. And there's nothing in my head that couldn't accelerate your career. I'm just excited to share it with you every week. So, by the way, I'm excited to share it with you with Bobby today at 3. Make sure you do tune in to 3 p.m. today to hang out with Bobby. Don't go anywhere over on the Twitch side. However, if you're on LinkedIn and YouTube,